young people today are still flexible, and today, at any time, we need this flexibility because the world is changing so much that we have to be open to be responding in new ways, different ways. I feel a lot of hope, I feel a lot of investment in young people. I have a big project in England with education, and I'm really passionate about the future supplied by young people, surprisingly young. We do not treat them in the right way young enough. I think you can start at 3 and 4 years old already getting them to make their own choices and their own decisions. It's all about people. It's all about people skills. And I talked about being authentic. They've got to be who they are. They've got to have good values. The businesses that are failing have had bad values. All the businesses that have been in trouble in the economic circumstances is all because they have not respected normal human values that we all respect with each other. They think somehow if we go into business we can do bad things. It's not true. So it's very, very important for business to adopt a much more coaching approach to their applications of everything from sales to management and everything. I think that there is a belief that coaches should not tell. They should always ask questions. But I'm more fluid and flexible than that. I think if you see somebody has a behavior, you don't say this is wrong, this is bad. You say, when I'm talking to you, I notice that you do something, and then they begin to think for themselves. So I think we can give some input as coaches also. I think that in future we will move away from that. There's a model which says we start off dependent, we are dependent on our parents. Then when we go to adolescence, we will look for independence, we fight for that. But then the next stage is interdependence. We know we are all dependent on each other. So everyone is important in this system that we keep together. Unfortunately, most business people have not reached interdependence. They are still in independence. Many business people are actually adolescent in their behavior. They're very self-centered, just think of themselves. So we have to grow up. My new book that I'm writing now is about evolution. We have to evolve, we have to grow up. The goal side is very, very important, and very often people have rather loose goals. Well, I want to have a happier life or something like that. The coach saying, well, what do you mean by that? What would make you happy? It's very important in coaching that you go down and go to detail, because unless people get to detail, they don't have a direction. When they have the detail, they can feel, I've now succeeded and made progress. It's very important that we start with the goal, because then we have a positive vision of some goal. Most of us think of the problems we have, and that is only a remedial solution, is a remedy to something that is wrong. And that may not help towards a bigger goal. We must get the goal first and then say, okay, how do we get from here to there? And it's very, very important that goals come before reality. The profession of coaching is growing quite fast now. I mean, obviously, big social change takes longer than a change in an individual. So I am, of course, disappointed. I've been coaching for 30 years and the world has not all adopted coaching. But actually, it's achieved quite a lot in 30 years already. Disappointing now, it's not much more embodied in school, for example. But I believe that we will see in schools in 20 years from now, I think the schools will be very different than they are today. So it does happen, but it does take time. It's important to go on studying coaching. I mean, I'm still learning about coaching, you know. And I'm always looking, when I speak to people, I'm always paying attention to what is the impact. When I had that conversation, what happened across there? I always have to pay attention to the results and really look at that and be willing to criticize myself when I do something that is not successful. I believe also we can challenge people sometimes too. We shouldn't be afraid to challenge people also. So I really think that the principles of coaching, when applied in a broad, open-minded way, is as good as you can get. I think we don't understand well enough how much people already know. People are very often very surprised when they ask young people questions, how wise the young people sometimes are. We don't allow ourselves to listen to them very well. It's our problem, not the children's problem. And we are always we are accustomed to telling, prescribing and not listening. We are actually, older people are generally not accustomed to listening in the way they should. And they were quite surprised when they really listened to children.